proud to be hosting a reunion of one of Australia's favourite comedy duos. Our next guest worked alongside Colin Lane for 20 years in live shows, TV series and recorded music. Well, since 2006, Lano and Woodley have pursued separate careers, but today we're very thrilled to welcome back Frank to the Circle Couch.
I stipulated very clearly that I would only be in the same room with Cole if there could be 3 people between us.
It doesn't feel weird to me.
It does feel weird. It does feel really weird. Can I just sit next to you for a moment?
Yes.
Just... It feels so bizarre because when I was with Frank, we used to come on morning shows like Bert Newton and Kerry Ann Kennelly and all these shows and do this, but now you're coming on the show, the morning show, and I'm on the morning show. I'm on the show.
It's like you've been in... you're at primary school and you've been mucking around, like hanging it on the teacher, you know, being cheeky for like 3 years, and then you come in and the kid that you always muck around with is the teacher all of a sudden. You go, what? Yeah, it's but it's good.
But it's over, and we've been separate for five or 6 years.
How's that been, Frank, with you first? How have you found the separation issue and then forging your own path? Has that been difficult?
Well, it was, for the first about 3 years, every time I performed, you know, someone would go, where's Lano? But then it turned out, I finally worked out it was Cole in the audience. It was just like coming to every show I did. I said, Cole, you've got to detach, my friend.
Yes.
It's been, I'm sure for both of us, it's been quite weird. I have an inflatable Cole I have in the wings just to, you know, comfort me.
Aww. Well, let's talk about your new project.
And also, keeps coming
once
back.
in a while, stick pins in it.
Yeah. Actually, I just shower it in buttons. He kept that from me for 20 years.
Really? Because I thought that we'd shared everything over that time.
What? What's even for buttons? Whenever we were having any kind of creative disputes, I would have gone, Cole, I think it's got to go
the buttons.
You had them in a tin and shaking them threateningly.
Yeah.
Now, Frank, let's have a look at your new comedy show, which is screening on ABC. One of the things that I love about Woodley is that there's virtually no dialogue. Take a look at this. Now, in this scene, Frank, your character can't get out of his egg suit. So you play it. This is when I lost it watching this. So you play a really chaotic and accident-prone father, and you've just recently been divorced, and your wife, who is Justine Clarke, who's just fabulous in the series.
She's great.
It's hilarious to watch and so frustrating to watch how accident-prone he is, Frank.
Well, with that suit, you know, when I came up with the idea, I thought, I want a suit that is like that would be the most frustrating thing to be in, you know, so that limit your movement as much as possible, without kind of thinking it through and thinking, I'm going to have to work in that suit for about a week. And when in that scene where I get there and the person who normally helps me out of the suit isn't there, and I have to sort of go, I did not have to act at all.
So you're a method actor as well, and you wore it home, didn't you, for that week?
That's right.
Because you're selling organic eggs during the day.
Yeah, that's the sort of, the dead-end job I've got, basically, that I'm trying to keep from my wife. But it's, it's basically all about someone who's looks after his daughter on the weekends. He's a weekend dad, but he's still really in love with his wife and would love for them. And she still loves him I think.
It looks beautiful the way it's been shot.
It is shot beautifully.
As a Melburnian, I loved recognising some of the scenes around Melbourne. And the casting is brilliant. Oh, this is hilarious. Was this done in one take? I wanted to ask.
Yes, one take.
It is just hilarious.
Now, the people in our audience are laughing, obviously, because it's fantastic. But there's no laugh track on the show. How did that decision come about?
Well, yeah, when we did Leno and Woodley, we did it with Laugh Track, and I think it's just probably there's a bit of it's maybe just a.
I didn't know what you were looking at then.
I was just looking into my own mind. There was there's sort of a bit of a change in culture in terms of laugh tracks. I don't think they're good or bad. I think it's good. You know, they can work really well in some situations. I remember with the way that me and Cole got our laugh track for The Adventures of Leno and Woodley was, it wasn't canned laughter. We would actually show the audience the show as a film, and we would record people laughing to the actual material.
Yeah.
But there was one episode where we had to completely rebuild the laugh track because when we filmed it, like with the studio audience here, there was a mic as you've got there, but just under one of the mics there was this one woman, and every time she laughed for the whole episode, when we listened back to it, she went every time.
And sometimes when you were building the laugh track, there'd be a laugh, and Frank and I would look at each other and go, we think that joke's a bit funnier than that. And sometimes you'd just cheat a little bit.
Really?
And maybe but you'd take a laughter from the audience that you had, but you'd just maybe use a slightly bigger laugh.
I'm going to be watching. I'll be watching Ready Steady Cook in a very different way from now on.
In my memory, I think that it'd be more appropriate in terms of my experience of Cole. I didn't know about the buttons, but I know in terms of your cooking ability. I think that show should be maybe just called Ready Steady Eat if you're on it.
Right.
Because I don't. Have you ever cooked anything?
What?
No, maybe you just didn't ever cook anything and offer it to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Before you guys get into your first fight since you've reconnected, you've also got some shows, Frank, coming up, some live shows.
Yes, I'm doing. I open in Adelaide on the 24th, I think.
There it is.
There it is, and doing a live tour of stand-up stuff. I actually did a tryout of some of the material for Bemusement Park last night, and in fact only one joke worked, which was, but it was okay because the audience laughed for 59.5 minutes. It was that funny.
So now when you do a stand-up show, do you do jokes that I never let you do when we were a duo? Do you use all that material?
Yeah, in fact, when you watch the TV series, you might find yourself going, I wrote that.
I have seen that tape gag maybe sometime.
A variation on a theme.
On a theme, that's right.
A beautiful clown, Frank. I always think you're like this old European, weird, beautiful clown.
Well, I
mean that with love.
Yeah, I mean there is. We used to describe our actors as clowning sometimes, and you've got to be a bit careful because people sort of they think of a kind of a wacky, clown that's a bit hard to take or whatever. But there is a tradition of that, I suppose, innocence in comedy, where you're performing a persona who's quite innocent, and you want the audience to care about them, And I guess what I do is working in that tradition, as Leno and Woodley was as well.
Please thank this lovely weird clown, Frank Audley. And if you miss those tour days, of course you can find them on the Circle website. Up next, we'll look at the real estate trends around the country and try to guess the price of a mystery property with Catherine Cashmore, which is Georgie's favourite bit of the whole week.
I love it.
Back after this small but quite reasonably priced break.